so glad you're watching today. I want to share something with you that is so important and vital to the fulfillment of your dreams. Let me just read to you a few statements and see if you can guess what all these statements have in common. Listen to this. It's one of the top qualities that men and women find most attractive in each other. It's considered more important than skill, knowledge, or even experience. It sets you apart from others who could be more qualified than you. It reveals that you are competent. And then lastly, it's absolutely necessary to pursue your dreams. Well, what I'm talking about is confidence. It's going to take confidence for you to pursue the plan of God, the dreams and the goals that are in your heart. And you know, it's amazing, but your confidence or your lack of confidence will play a big role in how far you go in the pursuit of your dreams. Now, you may know that confidence is important. I've known that for years, but I'm telling you, this is not something that came easy for me. In fact, I was quite the opposite, very insecure and afraid and timid and shy. And I have truly had to overcome insecurity and build my confidence to such a degree that I just walk out the plan of God. You know, I like what people have said, you know, one lady even wrote a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, that you can't just sit around and wait for that fear to go away before you step out and do what God's telling you to do. You seriously have to just do it anyway. Even if your knees are knocking and you're afraid and you're scared, you just do it anyway. They say that's one of the biggest difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person. The successful person was afraid, but they did it anyway. The unsuccessful person let the fear stop them. Well, I want you to know that you are capable of so much more. But fear, a lack of confidence, is an enemy to your success. It's one of the biggest dream stealers that Satan has. It's fear. And you know, insecurity is rooted in fear. It's just that fear that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not educated enough, I'm not polished enough. It's all rooted in fear. And if you know anything about your enemy, Satan, he operates in fear. Just like faith activates God's power in your life, fear activates Satan's power in your life. So let me just warn you, Satan hopes that you are afraid, you're very afraid, and that fear will stop you. Well, I want you to build your faith to such a degree that you just step out in the face of fear and do it anyway. And you know, the number one method that God has given us to build our faith is faith comes by hearing. I'm so glad you're watching this podcast, and I think you should make it a habit to watch a podcast or listen to a CD, read a book, do something to consistently build your faith. Because when you do that, you're going to develop confidence from the inside out. And that's what it's going to take. Every time you hear the word of God, faith comes by hearing. Not only does faith come, but fear goes. So that's the goal. Get full of faith so that fear gets smaller. But I also think there are certain things that you can do outwardly to build your confidence. You know, think about it. It's going to take confidence for you to give a speech in front of a crowd. It's going to take confidence for you to teach a class or to go meet with a bank or join a gym or host a party or whatever it is that you feel is one of your goals in life, your dreams. It's going to take confidence for you to do that. You know, I was reading something Thomas Edison said. I thought this was pretty cool. He said, if we did all the things we're actually capable of doing, we would literally astonish ourselves. You are capable of so much more. But Satan doesn't want you to know that. So he wants to keep you with a lack of confidence. I heard Joyce Meyer say, a Christian with no confidence is like a jumbo jet sitting on the runway with no gas. You're going nowhere. Well, we're going to do things to build your confidence. One of my biggest tips for the inward development of confidence is hearing the word consistently. That builds your confidence from the inside out. Let me give you a few tips to build your confidence on the outside. These are things that you can honestly change overnight. Number one is just stand up straight. It's amazing. You know, I have a degree in French, but my minor's in communication studies. And we've studied people who appear insecure just based on the outward appearance. And you know, your posture says a lot about your level of confidence. People immediately connect good posture with confidence. And that's something seriously you can change overnight. In fact, one of the tips that I like to give is, in order to practice good posture, when you get in your car, sit up as straight as you can and adjust your rearview mirror until you can see outside perfectly. Now, as you're driving, if you start to get to where you can't even see behind you, you can't see in the rearview mirror, don't adjust the mirror, adjust you. Keep that posture good, and that's a good way to practice good posture. Number 2 is look people in the eyes. When you're speaking with people, make eye-to-eye contact with them. You know, avoiding eye contact with people. And you may be like this, or you may have been around someone like this who, when you're talking to them, they're constantly looking down or they're looking away. That just immediately is interpreted as insecurity or inferiority. So practice this. When you're talking with people, make eye-to-eye contact, because they immediately connect that with confidence. Now, don't stare, don't squint, don't lower your head and look up. That's flirting. I'm just saying, make eye-to-eye contact with people. Number 3, embrace and give compliments. You know, it's amazing, but confident people love to encourage other people. I want you to practice having a conversation with someone where you don't say a word about you. You just talk about them in a good way, but you encourage them, you lift them up. You know, there's something in psychology where insecure people practice what is called the double put down. What that means is they put other people down. You know, oh my gosh, look how fat she is. Can you believe she wore her hair that way, or she wore that outfit? They put other people down hoping it makes them look better, but it really doesn't. It just screams, I'm insecure. Or they put themselves down, you know, by just saying things like, I am so fat. Doesn't this outfit make me look fat? Hoping people go, you're not fat, you're so skinny. Well, both of those just scream, I'm insecure. It's called the double put down. Well, practice complimenting other people. The cashier at the grocery store, the waiter, the waitress, the flight attendant, your coworkers. Just practice complimenting other people and don't talk about yourself. And then also receive compliments. This was so hard for me. When people would tell me, you know, Terri, your hair looks great, I'd always say things like, no, it doesn't, it looks terrible. I could not receive a compliment. Well, I want you to practice this. It's not easy, but when someone gives you a compliment, you look like you've lost weight, or I love your outfit, your hair looks great, you did a good job on that presentation. Just practice saying, thank you. Just practice it. Those 2 words, they demonstrate confidence. Now, these are just a few little outward tips, you know, that you can change today. You can practice these things. But I'm telling you, it will demonstrate a level of confidence. You'll feel better about yourself just by the fact that you're encouraging other people, and you're going to look more confident. So, next week we'll talk about some inward things you can do to develop more confidence from the inside out. So, hold your head up, pull your shoulders back, and let's walk out the plan of God. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.